Okay.
And also, let's see if we can also go to, okay. Okay. Yes, we are already live. Okay. Let me see if we can find it. Okay. We are already live.
All right.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, according to your site zone. This is been a great, sorry, this is the Benin Empire Advancement League. Welcome to the Benin Empire Advancement League conversation. Joining me today is our Vice President, Mr. Joe Orukbe, and also joining me is Mr. Joe Ewan. So he's our PRO. And before we start, we would like to observe a minute of silence for our dear brother, Dr. Oguname, who passed away a few days ago. So please, ladies and gentlemen, let us observe our minute of silence for our brother, for our great brother. So. Okay. Okay, thank you, everyone.
May the souls of the departed rest in perfect peace.
Amen. He said, so our condolence go to the family of Dr. Oguname and his viewers and also his well-wishers. We know the pain the family is going through at this moment, and we want to use this medium to tell them we are with them. And yes, that is what we are trying to say. And at the same time, Oguname was a Benin son. He was a great son of Benin who fought for the Benin Empire during the issue of the artifacts that were going to be returned to Benin. So he fought for the Benin monarch and for the Benin people. He was standing alone in Germany, demonstrating and doing a lot of things for the Benin. And we, the Benin Empire Advancement League, we thank him for that, and we recognize him for that. So today, as we are talking, we are also sending a message to the family of Dr. Oguname that they should put it into consideration doing an autopsy of Dr. Oguname because many people believe it's not a natural death, as we all know, but it might not sound very good, but this is left for the family, you know. But that is also our belief. The government also should try as much as possible to give every assistance to the family of Dr. Oguname, you know, to make sure the whole issue is cleared. So that is our own issue. And that is it for Dr. Oguname, and we thank him for all his effort, for the fight for the Benin Empire, for the palace, and for the Benin people entirely. So At the same time, let me just hand over quickly to our Vice President, who also have a message for our audience. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, viewers and listeners all across the world. My name is Osemudiame Maoli Orukwe. I want to thank everybody for creating some time to be with us this evening. I want to say special condolence to the family of Dr. Guname, his followers on all social media platforms and on ground in Benin and all across the world. I want to say a condolence, especially to the great Benin Empire for the loss of a great son who had invested his time and energy in promoting the culture and traditions of our great empire, the great Benin Empire. I want to say condolence to the Benin people in general, all across the world. We've lost a brother, we've lost a friend, we've lost, to some, he's a mentor, and to many, he's a social-cultural advocate. We take solace in the fact that he devoted part of his life in the promotion of our culture and tradition, and he has helped to lend his voice in the quest to put the Benin Empire in the global map again. We want to say, Dr. Guname, we thank you for your sacrifices. We thank you for the investments you have made in our empire, and that we know that you have joined the ancestors, and you'll be welcomed into their midst with great fanfare. I also want to call on every other ambassador of the great Benin Empire, all social-cultural ambassadors and activists, that this is a time for us to soberly reflect on a lot of things. It is a time for us to look at our circle. It is a time for us to be extremely careful, in our utterances and in the way we respond to certain things that are out there at the moment. There's been a lot of tribulation from certain individuals, and there's been countless people going up and down on social media platforms, celebrating the death of our own brother, and we want to assure them that we will not forget, and we would remember how our own has been treated by this set of people. I want to caution my own people who are Asans, especially, as an Asa man, I want to say it is an abomination, it's an abominable act for us to begin to celebrate the death of our brother because he belongs to a different ethnic group, or because he has taken certain positions that we feel do not serve our interests, historically or culturally. I want to use this opportunity to remind every Asian man and woman that when we look at our history, whether we like it or not, we are descendants of Benin. We all come from the Benin Empire. Historically, we share the same culture with every other ethnic group that makes up the great Benin Empire as it stands today. There is no supremacy contest. The Benin man is not more supreme than an Issa man.
Yes.
An Issa man is not greater than an Ishekiri man, or an Urobo man, or an Ika or a Kwale. We are all of one same ancestry, and we are one and the same. And I say, rather than us celebrate the demise of a brother in an abominable way, we should all come together and use this opportunity to soberly reflect on our lives as a people and ask ourselves, what will we be remembered for when we leave this earth? I think it's a caution, it's a sound of caution that I want to pass to my Asian brothers and sisters. And to those who feel his death is a victory to them, I want to say yes, it is a setback to the Benin Kingdom,
Yes.
but it's a temporary setback because we have other able men and women who are more than capable, to carry the torch and to continue the journey where our brother has um, left left everything for us to do. And so I want to say condolence to every descendant of the Great Benin Empire, and we will bounce back. We will continue to carry on with the job of letting people know our culture, our history, and defending the empire. Even if it means the last spill of our blood, we will do that.
Yes.
I want to say thank you all for joining. I also want to use this opportunity to congratulate the new crowned Olu of Wari. I want to say, Your Majesty, congratulations. May your reign be peaceful, and may the ancestors and our God bestow you with the needed wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to steer the ship. And I also want to use this opportunity to quickly correct an impression that is coming from the Oni of Ife's palace. The Olu of Wari is a descendant of Ginua. And historically, we know that Ginua is the son of the Benin Kingdom. Um, there is an attempt, a conscious attempt being made by the palace or by the um, Ife priest who somehow parades himself as a king. Um, the Olu of Wari cannot trace his roots to Ife. He does not have any relation to Ife in any way. His father is Ginua. His father is one of the princes that migrated from the Benin Kingdom,
Yes.
and so it is. And it will remain so. No attempt by any revisionist from anywhere can change history. And so we say that we are against any form of revisionism. We are against any form of veiled deceit from any quarter, irrespective of where it comes from. We would vehemently oppose it, just like we have opposed the history, the revisionism um, that was peddled, the fake distortions as regards to the history of the Ga people and the history of the Ewe people. We are also going to come out and vehemently oppose this plot to mislead and miseducate people about the ancestries of ethnic groups that trace their roots to the Benin Kingdom. As it stands, we know that the Benin Empire is made up of 54 ethnic groups spread around across this western part of Africa,
Yes.
which is namely Nigeria, Benin Republic, Togo, and Ghana, with a remnant in Sierra Leone and southern Cameroon. And so we say we are conscious of the plots by certain elements to appropriate to themselves things that are not theirs. And we want to tell them that we are ready at all times to engage them, to oppose them, and to properly educate our people on the true history and traditions and cultures of the people. I want to hand over to Mr. PRO so that we can go about the business of the day. Mr. PRO, please.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to join both the president and your humble self over what you have said. I also join hands to say that we sincerely condole with the family of our late brother, late Nosa, popularly known as Dr. Oguname. I also use this medium to wish the children he left behind, to never to relent and to take the footstep of their father by promoting the culture and heritage of their ancestry. In regards to the coronation of the new Olu Atuwase III of the Shekiri, I also join hands to say congratulations to him, and may his reign and the entire Warri Kingdom, which happens to be an offshoot of the Benin Kingdom, experience enormous peace and harmony. In respect of the message sent in by the Oni of Ife, it is of fact that the Oni historically is a priest and not a king. Any Yoruba man who wants to contend that can come forth, and we are willing to debate if truly Oni historically is a king or a priest. And also, not until they accept the fact that the person they parade as the Oduduwa is a Benin priest, then we will not know who is telling the truth. But from all evidence and available documents so far, it is very clear that they have hidden the truth from being told and have refused to accept the fact that Oduduwa is a Benin priest. And as such, we want to debunk and debase his message to the by referring to the newly crowned Olu of Warri Atuwase III as the son of Oduduwa. We hereby use this medium to also say, by adding to your message, that the Shekiri Kingdom is an offshoot of the Benin Kingdom, and as such, the monarch is a direct descendant of the Benin monarch. Having said that, I want to also tell all our viewers and all those who have seen that information, which I will refer to as speculation, unfactual speculation, to disregard any message or informations from the Oni referring to Olu Atuwase III as the son of Oduduwa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Honorable PRO. I will also add my voice. Congratulations to the newly crowned king of the Shekiri people. I will not say Warri, because he's a king of the Shekiri people. To say the fact, the Olu of Warri crown is a Benin crown. It's from the Benin Empire. It has nothing to do with the Yorubas, to put it there. And also, as the PRO said, the Oni of Ife is a chief priest. He's not a king. No? He's not a king. He's not an emperor. And the kingdom of Warri belongs to the Benin Empire. And the people should take note of this. All this fake information. Okay, sir.
When you round up, sir, I will have to contribute something.
Okay.
Very important.
Yes. And those people propagating in the newspaper and the internet and the other social medias, they should know there is no way you can distort the history of Benin. We are here, the Benin Empire Advancement League, we are here to correct every distortion of our history. And we are ready to do that as we can. And we are not going to stay here and be quiet and be looking when other people are destroying our own history, our whole heritage, our own culture. So we are going to stand with the palace. We are going to stand with the Benin people, no matter where they live, no matter where they are in the world. So, and we are also going to stand with our Ishekiri brothers and sisters. The Ishekiris, they are not Yorubas. They are the children of the Benin Empire. So thank you, and Mr. P.R. Rosa.
Thank you, sir. Though we have other issues to discuss,
Yes.
let me quickly chip in this. It's very important we use this medium to enlighten people the difference from politics and tradition. Tradition is a thing of customary order which has been even before our present day, while politics is something that evolves around from time to time, which changes from time to time, rather. You see, one cannot apply politics all the time to traditional instituted order. It is very, very important that the Oni should stop this habit of trying to Yorubanize everybody or every prosperous county around. Like Mr. Vice President rightly said, the same way he went to Ghana to tell the Ga people that they are Yorubas. We said right in our program last time that you don't tell people where they come from. Rather, they should be the one to tell you where they came from. If they come to you to say, we are from you, then you should now be in position to ask them to tell you their history, if their history has something to do with you, before you accept that they are from you. Not you going to people to tell them they are from you. How can one be addressing another, his own son, without having any form of affiliation? It is wrong. That impression needs to be corrected. And two, I want even the young Yorubas of today who do not know the difference between politics and constituted traditional institution. In the Yoruba nation, they have a political leader, and they also have a religious, or rather a traditional head. Not until they come to understand that the Ooni is made by Obafemi Awolowo, the political leader of the Yorubas, while Alaafin remains the spiritual, cultural, traditional leader. But before then, I want to use this video to coach some of our Yoruba brothers. Before this, Alaafin of Oyo used to be the overall head, politically and otherwise. Ooni became the political leader because in 1953, when the Council of Chiefs in the Yoruba nation was constituted politically, the head of the political movement of the Yoruba was announced, and as such, the Alaafin of Oyo was not voted to continually remain the head of the political movement of Yoruba people. Rather, Bode Thomas, who was a vibrant lawyer at that time, was made to preside politically over the Yoruba people. And at that time, Bode George was a right-hand man of Obafemi Awolowo.
Bode Thomas.
Yeah. What happened? How Oni became, I'm going to use this media to clear how Oni became the political leader of the Yoruba nation. And he is now taking this political office of the Yoruba to Yorubanize people all over the country and also claim the spiritual head of the Yoruba people. That is tantamount to truth and justice. Bode Thomas, out of what I will refer to as youthful exuberance and egoistic high-heartedness and high-heartedness, he lacked respect for elders and traditional institutions.
Yeah.
What actually happened was that I believe a lot of Yorubas don't know this truth. This happened in 1953. They should go and check. It was even a day, I think a day to his daughter's birthday, or the very day his daughter was marking the birthday. It happened a day before his daughter's birthday, and he died on his daughter's birthday, at midnight of it. When he became the political leader, Bode Thomas, when he became the political leader of the Yoruba, supported by Awolowo against the Alaafin of Oyo, in his meeting, the political meeting held by the Yorubas, Bode Thomas was entering the hall where the meeting was being held. As the political leader, everyone stood to give him a standing ovation. The Alaafin of Oyo, being who he is, the spiritual leader, the father of Yoruba, a responsible child will not expect his own father to stand up for him by way of giving him standing ovation. Because the Alaafin of Oyo refused to give a standing ovation to Bode Thomas. Bode Thomas in his speech made reference to Alaafin of Oyo and asked him, he was asking him as if he was talking to his little baby. He said, "Why did you stand up for me like others?" That was what Bode Thomas, a very young lawyer at that time, that was what he said to a man who was almost in his 80s at that time. Not just an elder, the king, the overlord of the Yoruba people. Bode Thomas said, why didn't he give him a standing ovation? The Alaafin at that time, at that very moment, did not hesitate. Being who he is, he pointed at Bode Thomas and said, "You mean I am the one you are barking at as a dog? Now, okay, keep barking like a dog." That very day, Bode Thomas got home and he barked like a dog all through the night. He began to bark like a dog all through the night. Before he could be rushed to the hospital, he died. Because of that, Awolowo deposed Alaafin of Oyo, removed him as an Alaafin of Oyo, and ever since, that was what led to the Ooni of Ife being given the political might of the Yoruba people, forgetting that he is a priest and not a king. Historically, he is not a king. Rather, I will refer to him as politically, he's a king.
Yeah.
but historically and otherwise, he is not. Therefore, he should stop playing the role. We don't hear Alaafin of Oyo making noise the way he does. We don't hear that. So we want to use this medium to tell him to retrieve and at the same time retreat from this act of Yorubanizing people all the time. It is wrong. Despite the fact that we have a very strong historical fact and evidence to prove the length and breadth of Benin landmarks, we cannot today, if you look at the speech of Oba Ewa II inaugural speech during his coronation speech, he said, we are not in place to force ourselves on people, on others, even though the history shows that we have things to do with them, things like that. So we cannot force our wish on people now, but that doesn't remove the fact that we have nothing to do with them historically. So the Ooni should learn first. I believe he doesn't even know. He's not well schooled when it comes to Yoruba history. He's not well schooled when it comes to that. And he should learn to understand the fact that there is need for him to maintain order and tranquility in order for peaceful coexistence. Because the way Amana is going, a monarch who is a man who is being referred to as a monarch, even though we know he is not. Like I said, whoever wants to debate should debate that. He is not and he is not.
Yes.
And it can never be because he's a chief priest of a shrine. Now, he should learn to maintain order in a manner that will not constitute disorderliness by way of trying to Yorubanize people. Enough is enough. I think it should be called to order.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. PRO. In lending my voice to that, so I also want to say that the attempt to always claim that the Benin throne is occupied by a Yoruba is also part of the misinformation that has always come out from the Ife quarters. The Benin throne cannot be. See, it just shows that most of the people in that part of the world are not educated. They are not schooled, and we really do not blame them. It's the unfortunate incident that really occurred when the British, invaded our land and usurped authority. And when they were leaving, instead of giving back the authority to the traditional rulers, they decided to give it to career politicians. And we know career politicians, they build their careers and their life based on lies, deceit, and all sort of evil machinations.
Yes.
And so we really do not blame them. But you see, when a man who claims to be a monarch, who claims to represent a certain set of people.
Okay. It's like we're having a network problem.
And always, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing you now, sir. Continue, sir.
Like I was saying, when a man who carries himself around like a monarch begins to use his platform to disseminate misinformation, it is the responsibility of every son and daughter of the Benin Empire to stand up and say, no, this is not acceptable. It was not acceptable in the times of our father. It's not going to be acceptable in our time. The Benin throne remains that of Paidu.
Yes.
From the times of Paidu to the days of the Ogisos and where we now move into the era of Obashi. It will not be changed. And as far as history is concerned, the Oduduwa himself is the son of the Benin throne.
Yes.
It will not be the other way around. I just want to also add my voice to that and clarify this so that our people will know that every misinformation that comes from the southwest and misinformations that come from the southeast should be disregarded.
Yes.
It is high time descendants of Benin should begin to listen and read and know where they are from, because when a people begin to tell you your own culture and your history, you've lost your sense of belonging. They begin to determine how you should speak, how you should think, and how you should live your life. The Essence are not Biafrans. The Benins are not Oduduwa.
Yes.
Can never be. It never was and can never be. Thank you very much.
I haven't listened to you carefully. I just, due to some of the things you said, that has actually referred my mind to something else which I came across yesterday on Facebook. Just there, actually, I came across a guy from the East. He called his name one is Kohli, something like that. I just listened to the beginning of the message. I was actually watching something as the next flip that came here happens to be him. When I listened to the beginning of it, I saw that this is another mess coming to social media.
Yes.
So I just ignore him. So now I want, due to the few parts I listened to, he was saying that Pa Idu, who the Benin refer to as, who is the Benin ancestral father, even down to our Ishan brothers to date, even our Ishan brothers, the native daughters in Ishan land, in their course of enchantment and interaction with the gods, they still make sure the name of Paidu.
Yes.
And they still make sure the word Ediendo Edienbo Edienwase. Our Ishan native daughters still make sure it Ediendo Edienbo Edienwase. They make sure it in their shrine. Now, this man, I want to believe in the word of our late brother, Mr. Oguname. He was explaining that after smoking much weed, sometimes it can block somebody's vein that passes information to the brain. So I want to believe that this guy yesterday has actually taken the weed that blocked his reasonable vein that supply, senses to the brain. He said Paidu was born in Igbo land, in Idu village. He said,
we need to laugh about it.
He said Esan brothers are purely Igbos, and that the word Esan don't mean anything in Benin. He said Esan in his word, Esan doesn't have meaning.
Okay.
He said if you want to really know how foolish he is, I would say foolish. He said the Benin took the Oba Eweka, the name Eweka. He said it was stolen from it was stolen from the Igbos, Emeka. We thought he said the Benin turned the M and turned it to W. Emeka became Eweka.
Mr. PRO, it's simple logic.
Yes.
In history, when you're talking about West African history, after the North Empire,
yes,
you know that the only empire that it's talked about, much talked about, much despised by traitors and haters alike, is the Great Benin Empire.
Yes.
We don't, the Southeasterners cannot even point one kingdom.
No, they don't even have one.
Everything we hear about Iri is just oral history.
Yes.
Our own history are written on bronzes. Our own history are written on stones. So we do not even have to engage this kind of element in any kind of intellectual banter, because we know that they don't have what it takes.
Yes.
To have any sort of constructive conversation. You understand?
Do you know how?
To the east, there is no kingdom that is well documented in the geographical entity called Nigeria. No kingdom that has its history well documented like the Great Benin Empire.
Yes.
None.
You see,
our story, our history is spread, is all around museums all around the world. So there is no cause for debate. You know, these are just charlatans who want to, you know, make some sort of name, you know, and everybody seems to get some sort of popularity when they take on the Benin people, when they insult, you know, our Oba and insult our brothers and sisters. But you see, there should be one, yes, especially those from the southeast, that anytime they try to, you know, get at the Benin Kingdom, they always meet their Waterloo. They should go and look at history. Even the history, which is not far away, the history of the Biafra War. Yeah, we know what happened when they came to Benin, and when they had to install an Easterner as a governor of the Midwestern region, and that was the end. That was the end and the fall of the whole Biafra movement. So they should be careful. We do not seek to fight people. We do not antagonize people. But one thing about the Benin people is that when you begin to antagonize them, to attack them, when they retaliate, most times it is always disastrous.
Very, very brutal.
Yeah. It is always disastrous for the antagonist. And I want to implore and advise these young folks from the Southeast, do not make us begin to come up to engage you. Because you see, we want to spend our time in things that will develop our people.
Yes.
We want to spend our time in things that would bring integration of the Black man. We don't want to spend our time having to, you know, engage with Southeasterners. We see them as our African brothers. We see them as our Black brothers. You understand? But when we begin to see, we sense treachery, we begin to sense antagonism from any quarters. The Benin Empire and its descendants are not the same people that everybody knew 10, 20 years ago who would take all sorts of mess.
Yes,
we have come to a point now where we have said enough is enough. Enough of our distortions, enough of insults, insulting the Oba, enough of political and sociocultural antagonism. We are not going to take it anymore. We are ready to match everybody boot for boot. If you insult our Oba, we would deal with you in a manner that even your own people would take pity on you.
Yes.
We are not threatening anybody, but we are saying, you know, be on your lane while we are on our lane, you know, and let us all coexist peacefully. No man has a monopoly to violence. And I think the Southeasterners and some elements in the Southwest must understand that no man has a monopoly to violence. The fact that Benin people are peace-loving people, accommodating people, do not mean that you could now use them as rats and talk down on them when you think you just feel like punching a bag. You know, the days of us being punching bags is over. We've tolerated enough. And this time around, I want to say that every descendant of the Benin Kingdom must begin to defend their culture, defend their history, defend their tradition. All this trying to be a peaceful brother.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Those times are gone. Or else one day, there's an adage that says that if a snake does not show what it is, people will mistake it for a rope and use it to
Yes.
tie firewood. And we must avoid that, Mr. President.
Yes, please,
Thank
let me quickly chip in more. I was actually talking about this Igbobian that was
Yes.
making noise yesterday. In his analysis, he felt maybe he was being logical, but he never knew that he was completely being senseless in
Yes.
his analysis. Like I said, he said the Beninese turned the Emu in Eneka to W, it became Eweka. At the same time, he also said the word Iweka is also what we turn to Eweka at the same time. He said the Iweka, which began with I, pronounced in Igbo as E, pronounced as E. He said in English, E is written E, but in Igbo, E is I.
He forgot that we are not having the same alphabet.
Yeah, even if in English, if, for example, in Benin, E by the consonant by way of voice sound, he is written I in Benin.
Yes.
For example, my surname Iyoha started with I.
Yeah.
Iyoha. The name Idemudia started with I.
Yes.
Your name, Mr. President, Idele Gbagbon, started with I.
Yes.
Now, I want them to also understand that in Benin language, in general, E is pronounced in two forms, depending on how the word is being fully pronounced. E can be pronounced as E or A.
Yes.
Yes, for example, Iromoseli, that it begins with A. Ediaye, which to our Eastern brothers is Ediaye.
Yeah.
Is A. So I don't know the kind of logic he thought he was trying to carry out.
Out of foolishness.
Just check their followers. There are people who, they don't have any level of discernment.
Yes.
These are gullible people who are not intellectually sound. They are not educated. They don't have the capacity to comprehend truth. And these are the kind of people that you see follow all these people. So they want to hear things that tickle their emotions, tantalize their senses. That's all that it is to it. So because when you cannot find a reasonable man, an educated fellow, follow this intellectual miscreants. You can't find. It's just people who do not have anything upstairs that will be following these kinds of people.
Yeah.
You understand? And everything they have done so far has been counterproductive.
Yes.
But they don't even know it. They are the ones who want to, they are the ones who want to claim that Rihanna says she's an Igbo woman. We are Benis. We do not need, and we don't claim people.
We don't need Rihanna.
Even Oprah Winfrey now they are also saying it's an Igbo woman.
Well, you see, they are the ones that need all those kinds of people to legitimize and the things they do. We are Benis. We don't
need it.
We don't need those things because one, we do not. We even during the slave trade era, it was an abomination.
Yes.
For you to sell a Benin man, it was purely an abomination for you to sell a Benin man, and even the Benin Empire at that time was somewhat against slave trade. It's highly documented. We are the only empire that stood against slave trade, against the Portuguese and the rest of them. It was the Benin Empire. We do not need an Oprah Winfrey or a Rihanna. We don't need all these people to legitimize our kingdom or our ancestors. They are the ones that would always come and say, I have traced my roots and I am from this place and all that.
Yes.
You know, and I think people should begin to question all this trash that is being thrown out on social media, because you see, misinformation. It's like you are feeding a child unbalanced diet.
Yes.
Child will grow,
That's it.
will
Yes.
grow with some form of deformity.
No.
So when you want to grow in knowledge, you must fill yourself with the proper knowledge so that you can grow healthily. And I think that's where most of these guys have a problem. We are not from Israel.
No.
We are not Jews. We are not black Jews. We don't believe
Never.
we are Israeli. We don't use the Israeli flag. We don't force ourselves on Israel.
Never.
We are from. We are the descendants of God kings. And
Yes.
so we don't, you see, because we are not inferior. We do not have any form of inferiority. We are not battling any form of inferiority complex.
Yes.
So we don't need to try to align ourselves with any other nation to gain legitimacy. We don't need it. We are Benin. We have always been Benin in the past, and in the future we will still remain Benin.
Benin,
And no
yes.
matter how people try to subjugate the will of our people, history has it that we always, one way or the other, always spring back.
Yes.
You know, and that's just what it is. You know, so let people begin to question these kinds of people on social media and just, you know, throw all what they say to the trash bin of history. That's where it belongs, Mr. President.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, the worst of all, these are the people accusing the Fulanis. The Fulanis are trying to colonize the Igbos, you know, while the Igbos are also doing the same thing to other tribes. Exactly, the Yorubas, you know, it's the same thing. You know, how can you be accusing somebody and you are also doing the same thing? You know, so they have to start learning, because otherwise the Benin, they will not take it lightly with them any longer. And we as an organization, we are not going to take it lightly with them, especially the Oni of Ife.
Yeah.
And he's
and Mr. President, I also need to correct something.
Yeah.
BENI is Benin.
Benin, yeah.
Benin is a tribe.
Yes.
BINI is Benin. Benin is an ethnic group that belongs to the Benin tribe.
Yes.
There has been, you see, there's this calculated attempt by all these crazy people.
Yes.
To sow seed of discord between the Benin and the Essence. And Everman, Eve, is a descendant of Benin, BENI. Just as a Benin man, BINI, is a descendant of Benin, BENI.
Yes.
And Essa man is the descendant of BENI, not BINI. You understand? And
yes.
It is because people do not really know all these things. That is why they are running around with so much ignorance.
Exactly.
You understand? And you know, we were saying something this morning. The Benin city was not the capital of the Benin kingdom.
No.
Present day Benin city. The palace was moved to Benin city, the present place where it was. The present location of the palace was not where the palace was before.
Exactly.
And so even the Benin man now, the BINI man himself, you know, cannot lay claim to the palace. You know, and I think that's where the problem is. There's this misinformation, calculated misinformation by certain individuals. Even on the issue of Iweka, Upper Iweka Road and whatever, where is Iweka located?
It's from Benin.
The thing is, even Nnamdi Azikiwe himself has clearly told these people that the people from Onitsha are Benin.
Yes, and they are Benin.
My Odyssey, a book written in 1970 by Nnamdi Azikiwe.
Nnamdi Azikiwe. In fact, it is on record that the Southeasterners hated him for that.
Yeah.
You cannot compel people to be what they are not.
Yes, and now and now some of these young ones are bastardizing Nnamdi Azikiwe, they are saying he's responsible for their problem and
How
everything.
can he be responsible for that?
You know?
Can I quickly say something?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, like yesterday, I talked with Mr. President yesterday, and I said I was going to also tell you, let me use this medium to say it on the head. You see, the Benin history is second to none. I want them to know and also investigate. In the entire world, the Queen of England only paid tribute to Oba of Benin, no other king.
Yeah.
In the whole world. The only king he pays tribute and homage to is the Oba of Benin. They should go and find that. That is one. See, what I want to say is that yesterday, I actually met with a lady. I was at the supermarket. There's this white lady, a German lady, who also came to the supermarket to do some shopping for our animals. In the process, I was passing by, in the process of trying to put our stuff in the boot, some of the canned food, actually they are canned food for dogs and cats, the carton turned and everything fell down. I assisted her in picking just two, put in the boot. I decided to move forward. She was telling me, thank you, I put it. As I was about to leave, she called me and said, where are you from? I said, I'm from Nigeria. He said, oh, which part of Nigeria are you from? I said, I'm from Benin City. No, I said, I'm from Benin. She said, Benin City. I said, yes. I said, the next thing I asked her, I said Benin, you said Benin City. If since you know something about Benin. She said, not really, but I said, have you been to Nigeria before? She said, no. She said, but I have been to Ghana, I have been to Senegal, I have been to Cameroon. I said, yeah, Cameroon is our neighbor. She said, yes, I was in the Anglophone part of Cameroon. I said, yes, that should be the southern Cameroon part. We started conversating. In the process, she began to tell me the things she knew about Benin. She told me that Benin, she knew about Benin because history has made it clear that before the pre-colonial era, there were nothing like countries, states, rather king and kingdoms in Africa. That she knew very well that Benin was a very vast kingdom with kings, well respected, that they control most parts of what is now called Nigeria and the Africa. I was really impressed. We talked for a while. We said bye-bye to each other. Later, while she was leaving, she stopped to say bye-bye to me as well, after I entered the car. I was prompted to have a rapport with her. I told her, I think it would be nice, me establishing a contact with you. It seems you know something about me. She said, I don't know much. I only just told you what I knew. I said, yeah, in this regard, I would like to have your number. If you're on WhatsApp, I will call you. We can talk. I would like to feature you in our program so that you can also tell the world what you know about Benin people. She said she will be traveling to Senegal today for a summer break. I should call her in 3 weeks' time. She gave me a WhatsApp number. And by the grace of God, after 3 weeks, I'm going to call her and also make sure we bring her here to also tell the world so that they will know that we, the Beninese, we are not just telling our history just for pride's sake. We are saying it as it is.
Yes.
Because it is unchangeable. The history has already been made, and no unhallowed hand can tamper with the history. The idea of twisting and trying to bring in that which never existed into existence will always meet their Waterloo and will always be resisted and defeated.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable PRO. And I want to also inform our Benin brothers, this organization is open to every Beninese, whether you are Isan, whether you are Irobo, whether you are Isoko, whether you are Ika, anywhere you are from, as long as you are from the Benin Empire, you are highly welcome to this organization. And at the same time, we are also going to be inviting our Benin brothers who are very, very good in history to be joining us in our conversation to tell us what they know about the Benin, to teach our people, our young ones, about the Benin Empire, about the Benin history, because this is very, very important. We are now at the stage where we need to really, really stand up, to defend our empire from all these. I don't want to mention it, just the people distorting our history. This is the time for the Beninese to stand up. Whether you are Urobo, you are Isan, you are Equale, you are from Anuani, or you are from the Cross River, or you are from Bayelsa. We all are brothers and sisters. We all have the same forefather. So we all originated from the same place. We are pleading with you people to come out, to come forward, to defend the works of your forefather, because they did a very good job. That is why we are proud of this empire today. When they were sleeping in their bed and say, "Oh, this is my comfort zone, I don't want to leave it," we will not have something called Benin Empire today. So it's now our responsibility to make sure we promote our history, our culture, our heritage, And yes, we know many of us are saying we are Christians. The Europeans, they are Christians, but that doesn't stop them from not maintaining their history, from not teaching their history, from not promoting their heritage. They didn't stop them from not doing that. So I can't see any reason why an African or a Nigerian or a Benima will say, "I'm a Christian, I don't want anything to do with our heritage." And saying that, it's like you are a lost person. You lost the way, because immediately you turn your back on your forefathers, they will also turn their back on you. And once they do that, it's going to be a chaos. It's going to be a chaos everywhere. And once we lost our history, we are now going to be who we are being told we are. So there's a need for every Benin to come out and they defend the history of Benin, and they also defend the heritage of the Benin Empire. And we are also going to be working closely with the palace. And the palace also need to step up their efforts, making sure they bring all this message to the Beninese.
Yes, exactly.
The Benin has to do a real PRO job to promote the history of the Benin. We know the palace cannot do it alone. But with the help of the palace and with the help of organizations like our own, we are very, very ready to work with the palace and also to work with other people who are very ready to promote the history of the Benin. So thank you. And Mr. PRO, sir, do you still have any other history for us today, or should we call it a day for next week?
Well, it depends on how you want it. if you wish that we present a message to our viewers and our people,
Okay.
we will simply give them certain informations regarding our history.
Okay. Mr. Vice President, sir, how is your
Yes,
time?
I'm with you.
Oh,
Well, the thing is, anything for our people. But
yes.
I just thought we should use today to address several issues that have happened and
Okay.
are still going on. And I think one of those issues to Mr. PRO is the issue of Joker Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
I also feel we should also talk about the issue of Joker Boy. I'm an Issa man, and I stand by every decision that is taken by the palace. To seek redress, as long as it does not go against the fundamental human rights of every citizen. I also believe that my Eastern brothers who have some certain level of hatred for their Benin brothers, I don't know how that came about. I think it is time for them to sit down and reflect and begin to tell themselves some hard truths. You know, I do not think the Benin man is my enemy. I
Yeah.
do not think an FMI or an Esako is my enemy. We are brothers. Yes, we might have different orientation. Of course, even a twin would have different orientation.
Exactly.
And this deep-seated hatred that is being um, fertilized by people from outside the kingdom should, I mean, that seed, that tree of hatred should be uprooted and thrown into the heat of fire. You know, um, everything that has happened to Joker Boy, that has happened to every you know, his friends and all those who have you know
Sponsor
urged him.
him. Yeah.
I think it's a lesson because the last time I checked, it is actually those who were against all the things that he said. They are the ones that are actually taking steps now to get him out of this whole mess he has put himself. All those who urged him on, who cheered him on when he was doing all what he was doing, have totally disappeared. And I think
Exactly.
that's a big lesson. We as Asians, I do not know where this new lifestyle, this new attitude, I do not know where it came from because normally an Asian man hardly talks back at his elder. So if I cannot, for instance, speak to the NOJ, in a derogatory manner, or an Uromi son cannot speak to the NOJ in a denigrating manner, why should we do that to the Oba of Benin? Do we not know that the NOJs themselves pay homage to the Oba of Benin? Do we not know that the NOJs historically, have traced their roots, to the Benin throne?
Yes.
It is our lack of education that has caused so many of our problems. And I think the Joker Boy issue, rather than you know, my Benin brothers and my Eastern brothers seeing it as a Benin versus Eastern, you know, war, which for me is childish. We should
Yes.
actually see it as an opportunity for us to begin to readdress, so many of the issues that have plagued us as brothers and sisters. Because we are one indivisible family. That is how our ancestors wanted us to be. Our ancestors will not be happy looking down from wherever they are, seeing us bickering and fighting and backstabbing each other. It's something that I believe would cause heartbreak for our ancestors. And you know, my Benin brothers should please not see, when certain Benin elements were insulting the king, we Easterns did not see it as down a Benin boy.
Yes.
Or an Ewe man did not see it as a Benin boy. A Ga man did not see it as a Benin boy. You know, and so when an Esther's son or brother decides to be unruly and decides to insult his father, I do not think the Benin brothers should see him as, oh, an Eastern boy. No, he's a Benin.
He's a Benin man.
Whether
Yeah.
we like it or not, we will address him as a Benin. We are not going to address him as an Eastern brother or Eastern son. We are going to address him as a Benin. That is what he is, and that is how it's going to be done. When an insecurity or a robo man or an Ikwere man or an Eve or a Gan, does something that brings disrepute to the Benin kingdom, we will address him as a Benin son. I'm not going to address him as a Gan or an Eve or an Ikwere man. No, he's a Benin son. That is how it's going to be done. We should not allow people sow seed of discord in our midst. We should not allow it. When a Benin man is governor, he's our brother. If an Esa man becomes governor, he's our brother. If an Afemai man becomes a governor, he's our brother. If anything happens to a Gaman, it happens to every Benin man.
Yes.
If anything happens to an Ever man, it happens to every Benin man. If anything happens to a Fon, it happens to every Benin man. If anything befalls an Ikwere man, it befalls every Benin man. That is how it should be, And I think the issue of Joker Boy should be a lesson to every one of us. The king is our father.
Exactly.
No matter how, of course, we all have our issues. We have our reservation. For instance, I believe that the palace is too quiet. I believe so many things that is going on in Benin and in our land is due to the fact that there's a lukewarm attitude, from the palace.
Exactly.
But irrespective of what I feel, it's not my duty to go about insulting the palace for lukewarmness. No, as a son, when my father is tired, I should be able to help him. I should be able to be a pillar of support. I shouldn't take his walking stick and let him fall to the ground. I should be able to hold his hands to make it firm, and that's what every responsible Benin man and woman should do,
Exactly.
And that's how it should be, Mr. President. I think this message we should put it out there and educate our brothers and sisters. Whether you like it or not, you cannot wash away your Beninness.
Never.
No matter how you despise the king and your culture and your traditions, you cannot wash away your Beninness. And it's not something to be ashamed about. It's something we should be proud of.
Yes.
That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. The Beninese always say, Edogbesan, Isangbedo, and those people who want to really know the history, the relationship, the brothership, or the brotherhood between Isan and the Edos or the Beninese, they should go back before the invasion of Benin. They have to read this history, then they will know the relationship between the Beninese and Isan. And then they will also know the Isan has always been one of the military might of the Benin Empire. So the brotherly love has always been there. It's only this new generation who doesn't care about the history, who doesn't care about their brothers, that are coming up to miseducate our people. There was so many issues in the palace where our Oba who joined his ancestors, Oba Eredawa, told many Edo people, Agbe Inyanoka, Boka Ninya. That should give them something to think. You don't beat an Esama for a Benima, and you don't beat a Benima for an Esama, because both of them are of the same origin. They are the same. Yes. Both of them are the same people. Most of our brothers who are just coming out because they have a big forum in internet to start spreading all this useless message, they should think twice. Yes. They should have been a role model for their people to tell them this is whom we are, not by coming out to start saying, oh, this is an Asian boy. Asian boy is insulting our Oba. For me, it's a Benin person. The Oba of Benin is our own father. When a child come out to insult his father, and then you are his brother, and you didn't tell him what you are doing is wrong, that means exactly there's something also wrong with that person. That person needs to be corrected.
Yes.
Because I myself, I cannot dare insult any king in Israel, because when I do that, I know I'm also insulting my father.
Yes.
So people should start learning. It's not because maybe there's a social media today, you just do what you want to do. Even in Europe, in America, if you do what Joker Boy did, they are going still to punish him for that.
Yeah.
Whether there's human right or no human right, everybody have to pay the price of his action. Because at the beginning of Facebook in Europe, people were also doing the same thing, even going to the extent that they push people to commit suicide. So the government came up with regulations. If you do something that push somebody to commit crime in Facebook, they are going to hold you responsible. That is why in Europe today, you can register Facebook as you want, but all your details are being kept by the government, they are being kept by the police. They are just watching you. Everything you are doing, they are watching you. And I can give you an example in Germany, I think in München, for about 5 years ago, a girl, a school girl, write in his Facebook page, I invite everybody to my birthday party. Do you know how many people came to the birthday party? I think it was almost about 800 people came to the birthday party. And then there was a lot of chaos everywhere. The police has to come in. They have to make sure they put everything in order. She was thinking that was the end. The parents they were thinking that was the end of the whole issue. 2 weeks later, they give them an invoice of about 5,000 naira, 5,000 euro, Yes, to pay. Because
for the parking.
For the parking, for the work of the police, because this is a private party. And they also give him another invoice for not registering that party. Because any party you are holding that is more than 20, they have to be a Red Cross there. They have to be other security, something that is going to be put on ground there. So people have started to learning about Facebook. This also has to happen in Nigeria, because the social media is there also to bring people together, not to divide people. So that is why the social media was created, something like Facebook, WhatsApp, and other social media. But we, the human beings, we are just coming up to start misusing all these social medias. So
let me plug this.
Okay. And I'm pleading with my Asan brothers, my Urobo brothers, my Isoko brothers. Let us all come together, because we all are brothers and sisters, especially the Asans and the Urobos, the Isoko, the Ika. When I listen to some of our Ika brothers today, they are not quite different from the Asan, the way they talk sometimes.
At all.
You have to think twice. When we listen and they hear the name Agbo, everybody has to think twice. Agbo cannot be an Igbo name.
It's Agbo.
So these people, they have to start thinking twice before they do things. And then when somebody like the people like IPOB come up and they start influencing you, you should have come and ask, who are we? Where do we came from? If you doesn't know the history, we have historians who can tell you where you are from. And when people like that just came up in social media and they started talking, this is an Islam boy, this is an Edo boy. You know, that was a very, very big mistake from our people. You know, and I want to also let our people know we can deny each other now, but in the future we cannot deny ourselves. We are still going to come together because blood is thicker than water. You know? So they should know that. You know, we know the Benin history has not been a smooth history. There were also controversy and others, but we always find our way back to ourselves. You know, we know whom we are. You know, that is how it's supposed to be. So thank you, Mr. Vice President, Mr. PRO, sir. So I hand over to you.
Let me quickly add to the wonderful message you have delivered on our brother Joker Boy and the need for others who are into social media presentation to tread with caution. You see, there's an adage in Benin which says, when a child, you know, pull a very bad poo, you also take a bad sheet of paper
Yes.
to clean the poo off, so that he will learn that next time I would not need to poo in this very bad manner. What that implies is that we should learn to treat people according to what they actually deserve, or how they deserve to be treated, following every of their actions, irrespective of who they are or where they belong. So, like you both have rightly said, I do not see any difference between Edo, Esan. We are all Bini sons and daughters. Joker Boy, to me, I still consider it to be an act of stupidity, because it is only a stupendous fellow brother like that will not tread with caution and disobey his father. Because I cannot imagine myself doing such. And as such, whoever does that amongst us should be made to know that he or she has done wrong. Otherwise, he would think that he has done well.
Yes.
So it is not a matter of Edo, Esan, no. It is a matter of fact. And I saw some comment, people saying a policeman insulted Trump and asked Trump to shut up. I watched the video when the police said to Trump, if you have nothing to say, shut up. But you see, when you criticize people, it's different from you insulting people.
Yes.
What that police did was criticism on the side of Trump. He just criticized Trump. If you have nothing to say, shut up. That is not an insult if you are to go by that. But in the case of Imajoka, it was a clear public abuse to our monarch, even if it is not even a public abuse. A responsible child will not even come to the public to even criticize his monarch. We are not Americans. We are not Europeans. We are not Westerners. That we should even come up publicly to criticize our fathers, not to talk of insulting them. You see, in every family, you always have, sometimes it's either you have a father whom the children may seem not to be upright, yes, or you have children whom the father may seem not to be upright. But that doesn't mean they should drag themselves to social media, which will end up constituting public nuisance and disregard for elders. You see, we have a lot of our brothers who try to make divisions out of what happened. But we also have on record that Imajoka is just, I would say, is a victim of circumstance, because he is under the tutelage of others who have been doing so in the name that they are not in Nigeria, they live abroad. It will be difficult coming to get them to pay for their sins. Not that they don't know, those abroad, not that they don't know that they are doing the wrong thing. They know very well that they are doing the wrong thing. And they have constantly remained doing it because they felt it will be difficult coming here to pick them. But if Imajoka had thought wise, he would have known that he ought not to, whether in Nigeria or not to take after the footstep of these people who have a distorted soul existing in them. I learned that he was lamenting, saying it was the program of one of our, I will call him a useless brother, because he has become so useless that he no longer have faith even in his future.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the person of Uyi, who referred to himself as Ogiso. Today, he will say it's an emir. Tomorrow, it's an Ogiso.
Yeah.
Next tomorrow, it's an Oba. The other day, in fact, if he is not crazy, someone will dress in both Oba, emir, and Arabic regalia together at the same time. Is that not madness?
It's pure madness. No?
Arabic emir and our traditional, he said that he uses the Bini style or the Igbo style or Asian style. He will just mix all of them with Arabic and emir and northern Nigeria, everything together. That one not be Kolometa. So people like that, should not be allowed to mentor them, because if such is allowed to influence the way one reasons, think, and act, it will end up putting people into trouble the way he has succeeded in putting Majokas into trouble. And more so, you see, he is now going about asking for money every day on social media. Every day. Even yesterday, he was also doing so, asking for money that he wants to use to help Imajoka. And he's not even, aware of what is actually going on. He has no contact with lawyers who have contact with Imajoka. Like you have rightly said, the people actually seeking his release are those who actually condemn Imajoka's act.
Yes.
Not him, who has been a supporter of Imajoka's act. What he does now every day is to play Imajoka's condemnable video all the time, soliciting for funds, for money. It is really crazy. And we want to also use this medium to talk to one of our sisters in Spain, who calls herself Odowu Nogie. They should also retrieve, they should refrain from this act of unnecessary behavior. It doesn't make any sense. There is also one called Innocent. Innocent.
Yes,
There's
Innocent.
another one called Vincent. The one is in France. I don't know where the other one lives. No, there are many now. The so-called monkey face is recruiting people of low ideology
Yeah.
like himself, building lies and building upon the lies. It is wrong that people should give up themselves to be used by Dollard, who will confidently lie to the public on social media. I wonder why people will just be so confident in lying. You know, I was discussing with a friend. He told me, he said his father told him some time ago why it is not good to lie. You know what he said? He said, the father said it is not good to lie because the moment you lie, let me not use you, the moment one lies, he or she will try to defend the lie.
Yes.
In the course of trying to defend the lie, he will lie again. And that is how he will continually lie to defend that lie. And he will begin to act in such a manner that will make his lies to be real. That is exactly what Monkey Face has been doing. But people of low IQ who falls into his trap, we end up becoming victim. He has made himself a social media judge, whereby people now bring issues to him to either investigate or make verdict. You know, let me quickly say this. Yesterday, I saw him, somebody called into his program. This is somebody who calls himself a European citizen. When he called, I don't know what European citizenship, what benefit it gives to people by calling into a program, declaring yourself a European citizen. You just called and said, my name is also and so, I'm a European citizen based in London. Okay, fine. You know what? The case he brought to Ife, the Monkey Face. He was reporting a matter involving him and Bob Iswa to Monkey Face. And from his explanation, every reasonable man will know that he is one of those lazy brothers in UK who calls himself a European citizen, whose eyes are on properties that
other people
are never his own. Let me quickly abreast you of what he said. He said his cousin, according to him, his cousin now, his grandfather had a house. His own father was the second son to his grandfather. So his uncle inherited that very house, his own uncle. His grandfather was buried there. His own uncle, who inherited the house, died, was not buried there. And this is his uncle had two daughters. He had no male child, but had two daughters. According to his story now, he said, but when he died, he was buried in the cemetery, not in the very house he inherited. But when his own father died, they buried his own father in that house. Now, the issue now is this. This guy have an elder brother. It's not even the first son to his father. According to him, he said his elder brother is in US. Fine. Now, by way of hereditary, that house was built by his grandfather. His uncle inherited it. Who will be next to inherit it? Is it not the children of his uncle? Abi?
Yeah.
his grandfather built the house, his uncle inherited it, who was the first son to his grandfather. Now that his uncle died, whether his uncle never had a male child or not, the children of his uncle will now be automatically the inheritance to the property because it falls within their line. It is only in the palace, you say whoever becomes the Oba remain there. But Benin tradition does not say if you had no male child, your house you inherited should be given to your brother's children.
Never.
Who are sons.
No.
Benin tradition never says so. Now,
No.
the issue now is this, according to him, the issue he brought, because I don't really have time commenting on wasting my time to write and comment on this useless thing. If I were to be privileged to meet that person in person, I will explain to him that his head, something is wrong with him. He said he's not even the first son of his own father. His own father was even the second son to his grandfather who owns the house. So eventually, the elder brother to his father inherited the house, and the elder brother to his father had no sons, but 2 daughters. When the uncle died, who inherited the house, they didn't bury him in the house. Why? The house I inherited, why did you stop me from? If they had no motive, because they knew that he had no son, maybe they tricked the daughters to bury the man in the cemetery so that his own father can now take possession. But when his own father died, who by right is not an inheritance to that house, his own father was now buried in that house. Now, the daughter of his uncle sold that house to Bobrizwa before she died. Now he is now laying claim to that house.
How can you lay claim to what you
What doesn't belong to you?
Okay, he said the only reasonable question Mokinfe is asking was that, okay, what about your elder brother? He said, my elder brother is in US, that one doesn't care, but I care. It shows that he's lazy, he's very lazy, and his eyes are on his grandfather's house, which by way of line, he has fallen apart from them. Now, he's saying they went to the palace made a verdict that since the way it is not within your line, by way of reasoning, that's fall off.
Yes.
So they since the house was actually sold to Bobrizwa, you have nothing to do. It was sold by the person who, by line of line of trace, inherited it. What can you do? Now he said he took the matter to court. For the past 8 years, the matter has been in court. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I looked at him, and this is normal logical reasoning. That is what court we also looked at to say, okay, your grandfather, your uncle was the first one inherited it. How do you expect the house now to fall back to your own side when your uncle had children and the children sold it before they died? What will you do? You know, I'm saying this because, you know, in the kind of society we were brought up, things has really changed today that when you become famous, you become rich, people begin to see everything you do as evil. They begin to see you to be a bad person. Even if one have a record of one thing or the other that may not have, you know, go down well with a lot of people, that doesn't mean we should see everything involving them as no, not normal. If Bobrizwa had duly bought the land, whether the house was sold for him for 20,000, it doesn't concern anybody. As far as it is a transaction, between both of them. If he did not finish the payment, then you could not ask him to complete the payment.
You don't even have the moral, the
Yes.
legal right to ask him to complete the payment. Because you
According
are
to
not
him,
even related to the vendor.
Yes.
according to him, he said the house was sold for 5 million, which I know very well that is a lie from him.
Yeah.
There's no way Bobizwa can buy such house for 5 million. And he said Bobizwa paid her 3 million, a remaining 2 million. A house at Ibiwe.
Yeah, only the
land,
plot.
only the plot in Ibiwe cannot be sold for 50 million. Only the plot.
Yes.
You know. So he said Bobizwa bought the land, the house for 5 million. I laughed, you know. So I'm saying this because he is among those who have successfully been brainwashed by Monkey Face.
Yes.
That is why he took such matter to Monkey Face to help him discuss. People like that need to be oriented.
Yes.
They need to be oriented, you know, because they think what Monkey Face is doing is right. But I want to tell them that they should learn to have personal reasoning of themselves and try to restore back to themselves the customary norms and values of thought in relation to our people, so that they will understand that Monkey Face has made himself an alien to the Benin in general.
Yeah.
And should disease
Thank you,
from
Mr. Piaro.
affiliating with him.
Okay, thank you,
Mr. Piaro.
Mr. Piaro.
I want to use this opportunity to say, brothers and sisters, you could also join our conversation by following our Facebook page.
Yes.
And you can also be a member of our organization, you know, sending us, signifying your interest in being a member of this organization. The door is wide open to every descendant of the Great Benin Empire. So please, we would like to be a part of what we are doing, be a part of this conversation. We would like you all to, you know, join us as we try to promote culture and tradition in our own way, you know. And I know somehow we'll move our people forward. I want to thank you all for being a part of this conversation. I want to thank you all for being a part of what we are doing. And special to all members of the Executive Council, led by our Honorable Dele Bello. We say thank you, everybody. And hopefully, we're going to be here next week. And we have a more interesting and more educating content to share. Please to tell a friend to join us sometime next week. Same time next week by 6 p.m. European time, and we will do this again. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I thank you. Mr. Piaro, thank you. And I pray that our God and our ancestors will continue to strengthen us, and that we'll grow from strength to strength, and we will increase in knowledge, and will be a blessing to our generation and to our people. Thank you very much. God bless you, sirs. And we'll continue this conversation again. Thank you.
Yeah. We see you all next week. And next week is going to be a real history from our PRO. So don't miss it. So I wish everyone a blessed evening. And I say good night to you all. So thank you very much. So
thank you, viewers.
Okay. Then see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.